It was the Army-Navy game that just came out this weekend. And during the broadcast, the cadets were seen with the this upside-down OK symbol. Mm-hmm. If you watch Watchmen, it's the Cyclops symbol.
Yes.
Must be a parallel.
We're the
right?
Cyclops. Mm-hmm.
So the commentary around it is, this is a game called the Circle Game. Is that what it's called? Or the Circle...
We used to call it something a little more vulgar.
What was it called?
Asshole.
Asshole. Okay.
I'm not familiar with it.
It was basically,
I'm not familiar with a lot of assholes.
I mean, just like when we were in high school, it would be something like, and it could even be a different symbol. It could be like this, with your hands.
Manja.
Right. Like it would basically just be to play a trick on someone to get them to look at something they aren't supposed to look at.
So
I gotcha.
They're
that's all it is.
claiming that they're playing the Circle Game.
That's not normally how it's played.
I know. That's what they're claiming, that it's not a white power symbol. So the woman that was behind Brett Kavanaugh, she was playing the Circle Game. And Stephen Miller, when he's fixing his jacket, he's playing the Circle Game. Stephen Miller, the racist. No, it's a white power symbol that we see, just like the Cyclops. When they greet each other, they're doing that on their forehead. Mm-hmm. It's a white power. So here's my question for the people listening, and also, whether you agree with me or not, I would love to hear this. The goal is terrorism.
Yep.
The goal is to get us to be upset, to say, look at over there, look at how racist they are. What do we do with this? 866-801-8255. People are flashing white power symbols. Listen, I operate under the edict that you're guilty until proven innocent. I'm going to assume
all white people. Not a cop.
Yes. Well, do they operate any differently?
Depends on who you are.
Yes, knock it off. As it relates to race, I'm going to assume every white person I meet is inherently biased.
That's a safer way to operate. I
can't trust.
And I want to add to that. Because I always want to contextualize this, lest somebody catch clip and whatever it is. It's no different than me saying, if I meet a man who's in his 70s, I'm assuming he's kind of sexist, because that's the era that you grew up in. It's a safer bet to think that a 73-year-old man probably thinks, why is a woman my doctor, right? Because that's the era they came from. It doesn't excuse the behavior.
Right.
But we have to look at the larger society in which people were born.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that you flash a white power symbol, how does that impact me? And I'm going to take Daniel Kaluuya's mother as my model for how I'm going to move forward.
Okay. I haven't seen Queen and Slim yet.
It's good. I loved it.
That is interesting, because I've heard a lot of people say it was
terrible. I
don't
care what other people. I don't follow other people. I follow Karen Hunter.
Okay. I liked Harriet, so,
Me
people
too.
told me that was bad.
I loved it too. Daniel Kaluuya said his mother, he would come home and say, so-and-so called me the N-word or whatever. And when he would say, what do you do? She says, move out of my way. I have someplace to go. I have someplace to be.
That sounds awful.
No, if you call somebody the N-word, she says, if you call me the N-word, I'm going to say, move out of my way. I have someplace to be.
Okay.
I don't have time to ingest or to contemplate your racism. Truthfully, what does it matter to us? Do we not think that cadets are racist? Do we not think that they're doing things because if you watch the video, they're black cadets right in front.
Yeah.
So they're doing it behind their backs. They're chuckling about it. The one guy with the smirk. But you know this exists.
Yes.
Blackface, all of this stuff. But it's there to terrorize us.
Yes.
So do we feed the beast by commenting on it, by doing all of these videos? All the white people feels like they're performing, following you. What are you doing in this neighborhood? Calling you the N-word, this and that. Even though some people are getting fired, for the most part, they're becoming celebrities in their own. Why are we giving them this? To me, this oxygen. Let's talk about it when we come back. I feel like starve the oxygen. The white power symbol. Yes, we acknowledge it. They're racist. Now let's move out the way. We have some place to be. The Naval Academy said that they're investigating.
They don't have to investigate.
They're investigating whether this actually happened.
Bull.
They're on social media and other places. They're saying they were just playing the circle game, which, according to the Urban Dictionary, is a game for two or more players in which one player makes a circle with his or her hand, like the OK sign, below their waist, and they attempt to get other people to look at it. It's like what Smiz described, out of the blue, and it usually goes on all day. And we just did a segment a couple of Fridays ago on childhood games, and not one person called to talk about the circle game.
Of course not.
We got hot peas and butter. We got the tackle game that Lamont was talking about. I never heard of before. All manner of red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. Scullies, everybody, dodgeball, kickball, not one person called up to talk about a circle game. Never heard of this.
The game that Smith was talking about, I'm familiar with. I'm not familiar with it from that particular thing. It's kind of a whitey suburbanish thing. I remember that when I was in high school, but we didn't do that. That was also a reference to like all sorts of other bizarre, crass sexual things. Look, here's when you talk about what we should and should not be analyzing. This is where public attention should come into play. This is not an investigation. It's very clear what that symbol is. The discussion of an investigation is a form of gaslighting that, as a public, we should not accept. If they sat there and they gave the middle finger, everybody knows what the effing middle finger is. They wouldn't say, well, maybe they were saying this, maybe they were saying that. So the fact that we're being told that this requires an investigation is a representation of endemic institutional racism, and that is what people have every right to complain about. Not discussing whether it happened, because like you said, we know there are people who have these belief systems. What we should be angry about is an institution that our tax money goes to because it is a public national institution and a private school, right? It's a public national. West Point is where the soldiers who, quote unquote, defend our rights are coming from. Our money goes into a place that is training white nationalists. And I don't care who or what you are, but if my money is going to that, I have a right to complain. It is not that we are distracted. It is that the framing of the discussions that we have are often based on small minutia or personal insults as opposed to the larger structural issues that are being presented in the problem.
So what do we do? Everyone should be expelled?
What you say is you call your senator, because I don't know if you guys know this. Do you know how you get into West Point?
No, I don't.
So the whole West Point thing, you ever hear about this? So to get into West Point, because I know people who've gone, every senator gets 2 recommendations a year. I think it's like every U.S. senator gets 2 recommendations a year that they can make for West Point. You can't get into West Point without a recommendation from a U.S. senator.
You know what? You know why I know that? Shameless. So Carl.
Oh, okay.
Carl had to go.
I don't watch that show. It's racist.
Yeah, he had to go to his. It's not racist. They have a black child. Stop it. You don't watch the show.
You know where I would go with that.
You know where I would
go with that. You know where I'll go with that. But that's fine.
You don't know anything about.
I know the
Jason,
show. I know the show. It's racist
shameless.
and terrible. But anyway, please
not.
continue.
Shameless is shameless. It's actually just shameless. It's a shameless, horrible show. Everybody in there looks
based
horrible.
on a British show that took place in Leeds. Yes.
I'm not. Anyway, but Carl was trying to get in, and he had to go talk. I didn't know it was a senator, but he had to go and get recommended. It had to be recommended. So thank you for that. And I think also the other brother. Also, go ahead. But I didn't know that.
But that's the point. So you can call your senators. You can call your senator and say, hey, as an American citizen, what are you going to do about this? We don't have to be problem solvers as American citizens. What we do, we have elected officials whose job it is to figure things out. We should be asking them to figure things out. Hey, Senator, what's your position on this? If we can find out the names of those young men, which is not that complicated, you can find out what state they're from, and then you know what senator recommended them. And then you can call that senator up and you can say, hey, Senator X, what do you think about the fact that you recommended this young man to represent your state, represent this country, defend our rights, and they're making a white nationalism system? That's how you use your energy, not screaming and yelling and complaining because a bunch of white boys are acting like a bunch of racist white boys. You get angry about the institutions that you pay in and you hold people accountable. That's the solution.